Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Gochlarworks. In today's video, we will talk about active and passive voice. So let's start it. A sentence consists of three parts: the subject, the verb, and the object. The subject is a person or things about which we are talking in the sentence. The object is a person or thing affected by the action done to it, or a person or things that is doing something. And the verb is the action itself. First, let's understand what is a sentence. Sita cleans the house. Sita is one doing something. This means Sita is the person doing the action, and we call her the subject. The action cleans. Cleans is the word that tells us what Sita is doing. We call this the verb because it's an action in the sentence. Where is she cleaning? The house is the object. The house is the place where the action is happening. We call this the object. Remember it carefully. So now, in active and passive voice, basically we need to convert active voice into passive voice, and there are basically 5 simple steps in converting active voice to passive voice. Let's go through them one by one. First, identify the subject, object, and main verb in any sentence. Second, swap the subject with the object and the object with the subject. Third, convert the main verb into the third form of the verb. Fourth, add the proper helping verb to be before the main verb. Fifth, add the preposition by before the subject. So, at the end, the sentence structure of passive voice is object plus helping verb plus verb's third form plus by and then subject. These are the simple 5 steps that we need to follow. There are 2 important things to remember. Firstly, when replacing the subject with the object, if the subject is pronoun, the conversion will be like this. I will become me, he will become him, she will become her, we will become us, they will become them, and who will become whom. Secondly, we need to add the proper helping verb of to be before the main verb. This helping verb is decided based on the tenses. Let's explore this with an example using the main verb go. Now, let's look into the different helping verbs as per the tenses one by one, which we need to learn. Now, let's explore examples for each of 8 tenses to make things clear. First, in simple present tense, in active voice, we use the first form of the verb go or goes. In passive voice, we add is or am or are depending on whether the object is singular or plural, followed by the verb's third form, gone. For present continuous tense, in active voice, we use is, am, or are depending on the subject, whether singular or plural, and then the present participle going. In the passive voice, we add is or am or are and being, followed by the verb's third form, gone. Next is present perfect tense. In the active voice, we use have gone. In the passive voice, we add the helping verb been after have and the verb's third form, gone. In simple past, in active voice, we use went, which is the past form of the verb. In passive voice, we add was or were and the verb's third form, gone. Next is past continuous tense. In the past continuous tense, we use was or were going in active voice. In passive voice, we add the helping verb being after was or were and the verb's third form, gone. Past perfect tense. In active voice, we say had gone. In passive voice, we use the helping verb been after had, followed by the verb's third form gone. Next is simple future tense. In simple future tense, we say will go in active voice. In passive voice, we use the helping verb will be and the verb's third form gone. Next is future perfect tense. In active voice, we use will have gone, and in passive voice, we use the helping verb will after have and the verb's third form gone. So, these are the 8 tenses for understanding which helping verb to use. The following 4 types of tenses can't be changed into passive voice: present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense. Now, let's explore examples for each of 8 tenses to make things clear. We will begin with the simple present tense, and our first example is he plays cricket. This sentence is in the active voice and we will transform it into the passive voice using the 5 steps we discussed earlier. In first step, we will understand the subject and the object. Now here, who is performing the action? He is the subject. What is the action being performed? Plays. Plays is the verb. And what is the action directed towards? It's cricket. So, that's the object. Moving on the second step. Swap the subject with the object and the object with the subject. Cricket takes the first position and he transforms into him, taking its place at the end. In step 3, converting the main verb into verb's third form. So, it becomes played. For step 4, we need to add a helping verb. This is played. Since it is the simple present tense, the sentence still feels incomplete. Hence, it's time for step 5. In the step 5, we use by. Now the entire sentence is complete. Cricket is played by him. Now let's see an example of present continuous tense. In active voice, Ria is making a cake. Steps: identify the subject, object and verb. Who is performing the action? Ria is the subject. What is the action being performed? It's making. So it's a verb. And what is the action directed towards? It's the cake. So that's the object. In second step, we need to swap the subject Ria with the object cake. In the third step, you know that you have to use the third form of the verb. So in place of making, it will be made. In fourth step, we need to add a helping verb of to be. In the present continuous tense, we use is begin. Now it's time for step 5 to complete our sentence. By before the subject. So the passive sentence is a cake is being made by Ria. Now let's see an example of present perfect tense. Active voice sentence is he has written a letter. Now, step first is identify the subject, object and verb. Subject is he. Verb is written. Object is a letter. Second, swap the subject with the object. A letter comes to the beginning and he becomes him at the end. Next is convert the main verb into the verb's third form. So, written changes to written. Next, add a helping verb of to be. Has been is added before the verb. Complete the sentence with by before the subject. So, by is placed before him. Passive voice sentence. A letter has been written by him. Now let's take an example in simple past tense and see how to change it into the passive voice. Active voice sentence. He painted the wall. Step. Firstly, we identify the subject, object and verb. He is the subject, painted is the verb and the wall is the object. Next, we swap the subject with the object. The wall comes to the beginning and he transforms into him at the end. Then we keep the verb in its past form. Painted remains the same. Next, we add a helping verb of to be. In this case, was is added before the verb. Finally, we complete the sentence with by before the subject. So, putting it all together, the passive voice sentence becomes the wall was painted by him. Now, let's move on the past continuous tense. The active voice sentence. She was singing a song. Identify the subject, object and the verb. So, subject she, verb singing, object a song. Next, swap the subject with the object. A song comes to the beginning. She transforms into her at the end. Now, converting the main verb into the verb's third form, it will be sung. Add a helping verb of to be. It will be was being. Lastly, complete the sentence with by before the subject. By is placed before her. So, the passive voice sentence is a song was being sung by her. Now, let's move on the past perfect tense. Active voice sentence. She has completed the assignment. Identify the subject, object and verb. Subject she. Verb completed. Object the assignment. In second step, swap the subject with the object. The assignment comes to the beginning. She transformed into her at the end. Convert the main verb into the verb's third form. Completed changes to completed. Add a helping verb of to be. It will be had been. Lastly, we need to add by before the subject. So, by is placed before her. Passive voice sentence. The assignment had been completed by her. Now, let's see examples of simple future tense. John will write a novel. First, we will identify the subject, object and verb. Subject John, verb write, object a novel. Now, swap the subject with the object. A novel comes to the beginning and John will be placed at the end. Next is convert the main verb into the verb's third form. So, write will change into written. Add a helping verb of to be. Will be is retained. Complete the sentence with by before the subject. By is placed before John. Now the passive voice sentence is a novel will be written by John. Now let's see an example of future perfect tense. In active sentence, she will have attended the party. In passive voice sentence, firstly the subject here is she, verb is attended and object here is the party. Let's swap the subject with the object. Here, she transformed into her at the end and the party comes in the beginning. Now, convert the main verb into the verb's third form. It will be attended. Next, add a helping verb of to be. It will have been. Lastly, by is placed before her. So, the whole sentence is the party will have been attended by her.